Hey everybody, it's your girl Bunny. To all of my returning subscribers, hey, how you doing? And for those of you who are new to the channel, welcome. Kick your feet up, subscribe to this family-friendly channel, and don't forget to click the notification bell so you don't miss any posts. Also follow me on Instagram at the same profile name so you don't miss the sneak peeks of what's coming up next. In this video, it's the season finale of Atlanta Season 3 entitled Tarrare. I give a full episode recap with photos offset to the side, and then I give my review at the end. No need to dig around and keep all of the minute marks in the comments. It's all coming up next. It's a nice day out for brunch with the girlies thanks to Candace's sponsor. She spills the tea that she was gifted $6,000 to satisfy a pee fetish for a particular Frenchman. This so-called business trip craves some fun. What should they do next? Maybe a nice historical walk to learn more about Langston Hughes or Josephine Baker. No, too boring. They're in Paris and they need to turn up and do something crazy. Candace lets them know that access to crazy stuff takes the guidance from locals. Before she can get into the details, Candace sees something that makes her stop in her tracks. She's so intrigued that she gets up in misbelief. A mysterious woman gets a delicacy, fluent in French. Candace calls out, "Van? Van!" Van seems disappointed that she's recognized and even denies in French that she doesn't recognize her or this Van. Although, like an epiphany, she says, "Ah, oui, chérie, hi." Van compliments Xoxo, Shanice, and Candace to her apartment to sip some drinks. When Val leaves the room, Candace's friends whisper, "Where do you know her from? Is she French?" Candace assures that she's not French. "We were friends in Atlanta." What makes the moment even more confusing is Van in a prestigious fashion magazine. It's like her identity is of someone else. Then they begin to whisper even more. Wow, this girl is crazy. There's a photo of Van with a special someone, and her phone alerts are going crazy. Once again, a sight stops Candace in her tracks with disbelief. Before Candace can go any further to snoop, Van pops back with the drinks. Candace has to know, "Hey, who is this?" Van answers, still with the French dialect, "That is Marcel, my partner. I was with food and of course he was the chef. I was such an idiot when I first came here, so lost and alone." Candace offers to help Van with anything in the kitchen, but Van is clearly irritated by Candace's presence. It seems as if Van controls her anger while asking Candace, "What are you doing here in Paris anyway?" Her friends blurt out that she's here to pee on someone, but Candace confirms that she's going to do more than just that, sarcastically. Candace insists with urgency that they need to talk in private, but Van says that she has to go. She's running late for something, grabbing her cell phone. There's desperate energy in hiding it. She welcomes the ladies to seize the day. The behavior is alarming to Candace, but everyone rolls with it. They begin to feel the cool breeze and drift with the days. They travel on until arriving at a venue where Van is well known and greeted with kisses. The ladies whisper, "Okay, she got that security bread," literally. She lets everyone know that she just has to pick up some keys from her friend and they can leave. Alex greets Van with passionate kisses, and the perks keep coming. He welcomes them into his suite, and surely something is off. He then goes into a weird euphoria listening to Ashanti. He can't believe he's been listening to this same song on repeat all day. He even tells everyone, "Why don't we all just get naked? Take off our clothes, get over there, you know?" I'm sorry, I just get these random thoughts that are inappropriate. We don't have to do that. Right. The ladies even joke back saying, well, yeah, I'm down. Meanwhile, Van and Candace are in another room. Van instructs Candace to stand by the door and make sure no one enters the room. "Since when did you start messing around with Alexander Stargard? And what is that? What is this?" Nothing seems to faze Van as she spreads drugs throughout the room, especially crack. Van gets crazier, whispering, "Oh, you and your Americans, relax. You love when I play these games." Van rushes the ladies, saying it's time to go, shooing everyone out of the room, and Alex clearly had other things in mind. Alex screams, "You're cold, Vanessa. Cold." This Vanessa persona then goes to a concierge in tears, pleading that they've got to go to Alexander's room. He's doing drugs again. They will waste time if they call the police. They must go to his room now. It's the last chance to save him. Almost psychotically, Van stops the tears, saying, "Ladies, don't worry. It's just a game we play. You must join me later for fun." Despite all of the havoc, they agree to chill with this Vanessa. They didn't have anything else planned. They arrive at yet another location, which isn't so tourist-friendly. Xoxo can't help but to notice she ain't put that bread down once. Someone screams, "Tarrare!" from a high-rise area, and Candace begs Van to please stop what's going on. Whatever is happening, they can talk about it later and get some drinks. Van quickly tries to retrieve something from a cooler of the backseat of a car, and the cooler is empty. Van whispers under her breath with fear, "Are you effing kidding me? Emilio effed me." Now the ladies are afraid and wondering, who's Emilio? Was he a plug? Are you selling drugs? Screams and trash are thrown from the rooftops, and some heavy hitters come outside. Now it's time to go. The only problem is now they can't. The tires have been slashed. What's going on? Who are these guys? But Van isn't shifty. She calmly pulls out a cigarette with pure calmness, saying, "Is there nothing else we can do? If this is the only way, I guess this is the only way." One man only responds with "Tarrare." The ladies are shook. Why does everybody keep saying that? Van explains that he was the man who ate the baby. The moment is distracted by a fight in the street. Instead of cueing the ladies to run, Van is already on the escape path. It takes them a moment to follow Van quickly. The only person that knows where they're going is Van, and everyone else has to follow helplessly. What the hell, y'all? Why hasn't she said anything this entire time? Is she okay? Candace says no, she's not okay, before protecting Van before getting hit by a car. Another location, more confusion. Someone else is excited to see this Vanessa. Carlos. She introduces everyone, then lets him know that he has a special gift for him and Emilio. She missed the party and she wants to make sure that Emilio got it personally. "Emilio, my love, look who's come to visit." Instead of being excited, Emilio starts to back up, afraid. He wants Vanessa to know he's sorry. He has the package, but now it's with someone else. He suggests to talk over it with some cheese and wine, but Van then goes for the bread. In a panic, Carlos instructs everyone in the museum to leave. Van starts to taunt Emilio. "What if someone left out the baguette for a week? That would be stupid, huh? It would do nothing but get stale and hard," as she slams the bread onto the floor. "What about 2 weeks? 6 weeks? 6 months? How hard and stale would it be, huh?" She hits him so hard he falls to the floor, shocking everyone. Van has gone into a complete rage, hitting him over and over again. She extends a pause of redemption, asking calmly, "Emilio, where is the package, huh?" He offers another bundle tomorrow, but Van wants it now. He finally gives up the information. The package is in the vase. Van screams for Shanice to retrieve the package, and she smashes the vase, but not that one, the other one. This time, Shanice, don't smash it, just grab the contents. Before they leave, she makes sure to tell Emilio, "Don't come to dinner tonight, eh?" And then she apologizes to Carlos. A nice late party somewhere in Paris, and Vanessa apologizes for being tardy. She had unexpected guests arrive. The host insists that they stay for dinner. They do have extra seats. Xoxo and Shanice don't mind, but Candace whispers, "We weren't invited. We had a long day and we need to recover from it." Shanice disagrees. "Candace, you were just complaining earlier that there was nothing exciting to do, that we can do cool stuff, but the only way to do that is through some locals, and they're locals." Candace tries once more, convincing that something isn't right. It all seems like fun and games, but there is something seriously wrong with Van. Her friends think that everything is fine. She ain't hurt nobody. I mean, she's hurting people, but hey, maybe they deserved it. Candace isn't having it. Y'all, she's carrying around bread with blood on it. You're only cool with this because you don't know her. They ignore Candace and claim that they like her so far. They're gonna grab a drink and see her later at dinner. Candace tries to pull Van away again to talk to her, but that's stopped by a slow applause from the stairs. It's Alexander. Bravo! You really effed me back there. Paparazzi got a hold of the story and I might lose the Baby Shark movie now. He warns her to never do that to him ever again. Van, though, wants the last word by spitting in his face and escorting Candace to go see one named Marcel. One would think that he'd be upset from something so disgusting, but he goes into the restroom to masturbate. It's open arms from Marcel, and they kiss so long that Candace has time to sit her purse down and wait for them to finish. Van tells Marcel that she's not retrieving another package, and this is her friend Candace. They met on a river cruise. Candace pulls Van to the side and says that we've got to talk. What is going on? You're done with making me feel like I'm crazy? Today was nowhere near normal. Does Ern know what you're doing here? Does anyone know you're here? Don't think I didn't clock your phone alerts. Please talk to me without this fake accent. What are you doing? Van snaps and says, Candace, no, what are you doing here? I know you. You like it fancy. You're here to pee on some guy, right? Lord forbid if anyone does anything more interesting than you, huh? Or if anyone does something without your approval. The only reason why you're upset with me now is because you're not in control of me. Candace reminds her that she's not in control of anything because she almost beat a man to death with a baguette. Wait, are those hands? We've been chasing hands all day? Marcel whispers with pleasure. Yeah. The host soothes the table. I will keep my remarks brief and in English, especially for our foreign guests. Thank you all for coming. Tonight's meal, prepared by Marcel, is a sacred experience. If you are here, it is because you appreciate and revere life's beautiful experiences. You will not be disappointed. You all have in front of you a napkin. While some of you may be familiar, I offer a reminder. We will eat this meal with a napkin draped over our heads. It's a tradition with the le main. This is not out of shame, as some may speculate, quite that opposite. It's to allow a private and sensual moment with a meal. A meal, I assure, it rivals the finest banquet at Montelupus. And now, les mains. Bon appetit. Everyone starts to drape their heads and everyone is excited. Candace tells Van that if she chooses this crazy life, then that's fine. But what about her old life? What happens if your visa runs out? Have you talked to your parents? What about money? Van seems to have an answer for everything. I have a new life. If my visa runs out, I will marry Marcel, and my parents always wanted me to marry. And I have money because I work. There's only one thing that Van doesn't have the answer for. Candace wants to know, what about Lottie? Where will she go? Van freezes with shock, and her breathing patterns begin to reflect one having a panic attack. She screams and throws dishes everywhere, throwing them at Candace and Marcel, with them barely dodging it. Van screams over and over again, loudly, and the volume reaches the dinner table. Before Shanice and Xoxo can begin to eat, they're curious. Y'all hear that? What's that noise? Then they remove their napkins. They are nauseous at the sight of hands on their plate. Is that a hand? Y'all eating hands? No one at the table seems to care or even ruffled as the girls run away, but Alex shows up announcing, so where are those little hands? Van cries saying, I want to see Lottie. I want to see Lottie, over and over again, while Candace holds her. The world Van created is quickly crashing, allowing reality to finally take control. Van speaks with Candace. You know, things have been off for a while. I don't know for how long, but a few weeks ago I was driving in Atlanta and this dark feeling came over me. I closed my eyes while I was driving and then I got scared, so I opened my eyes and then I was in the opposite lane. Once I realized what I was doing, I just cried all the way home. I thought about how I'm a terrible mom. When I picked up Lottie from school, it was like she was looking at me like she knew what happened and she hated me for it. That I would do that to her. I took her to my mom's and got a ticket to Europe. I don't even remember that flight. It was like I just blacked out and I landed in Amsterdam. What was I doing in Amsterdam? Then I couldn't sleep. I was jet lagged, watching TV all night. Then Amelia came on. I want to be Amelia, I came here and I couldn't do that either. Candace brings her comfort. You can't be Amelia because you're cooler than her. I'm not cooler than her. I don't even know who I am, Candace. Ern knows who he is. Lottie knows who she is. Who am I? I don't even know. I don't even know who I am. Don't you have to pee on someone? They laugh, and the humor is greatly needed. Candace holds Van and says, yeah, I gotta pee on someone. Let's go home. A gentleman, clearly ready for some company, opens his front door, but it's Shanice. He offers her some champagne, but she already says that I'm in a type, and I already had like 2 Powerades for lunch. He lays out plastic coverings for the mess and lays down, prepared for the fetish. Shanice enjoys the view of the Eiffel Tower and sounds of a stream begin. Directorially, it's comedic relief as the urine sounds continue for a while until the man says, stop. Ern is called to the front desk and he needs to sign for a delivery. Ern claims that he has all of his bags, but the previous travel dates along with the name and confirmations on the bag match. He's confused, but signs them anyway. He knows they aren't his bag, but the employee doesn't care. Back in his room, he's hesitant to open the bag, but then goes for it. There's a Ziploc bag with prescriptions, a family photo, a Deftone t-shirts that he can't help but to try on. And there's a final scene that pans to a family photo with a face that we're familiar with. It's Ernest and his family. And that is the end of Atlanta Season 3. And now it is time for your favorite part of the video. That's right, my review. So let's just get straight to it. It is the season finale of Atlanta Season 3. And I know some of you are probably upset. You're confused. You don't know what's going on. But I always break it down and I don't ever take up too much of your time. Let's go directly to the title of this episode. Okay, now I'm from the South. I'm from Texas, but it's a French name. Okay, I remember learning this as a pre-medical student in college. Tarrare. This is a real person, okay? This is a French showman, a soldier noted for his unusual appetite and eating habits. He was able to eat vast amount of meat and he was constantly hungry. His parents couldn't provide him with what he wanted and he just continued and he ate him out of house and home as a teenager. He traveled to France in the company of a band, prostitutes, thieves before coming this act of this traveling person that ate vast amount of food. In this act, he would just swallow corks, eat stones, live animals, eat whole basketfuls of grapes, and he even took this act to Paris. Now, at the start of the war of the First Coalition, he joined the French Revolutionary Army, where he did crazy stuff. He would eat all, kinds of stuff, and it just got to the point where they were just like, we don't know what's going on with his hunger. This has got to be reviewed. This has got to be documented. He was hospitalized due to exhaustion and became the subject of a series of medical experiments to test his eating capacity, in which among gave him these different types of eating patterns. He would sit and eat live cats, snakes, lizards, puppies. He even swallowed eels without chewing them. I know, gross, right? Despite his unusual diet, he was underweight. And with the exception of his eating habits, he showed no signs of mental illness other than what he was described to be as the apathetic temperament. So let's get into, there were even, when he was hospitalized, there was even this moment where he quote unquote ate an 18-month-old baby. So the nurses couldn't prove that he ate the baby, but the baby disappeared and they didn't know what happened to him. So he didn't get arrested or anything. They just threw him out of the facility, which is really, really weird. So let's get into how that blends in, you guys, with this episode. You're like, okay, what does that have have to do with the episode. Now, just like art, it can be interpreted several different ways, but this is what I think it means. Earlier in this season, I said to you guys in a lot of the reviews that I predicted Van was going through a deep depression and that she was depressed since the end of season 1 going into season 2. We see a lot of the depression in season 2. I mentioned how Ern started off really bummy. You know, he was in school, came out of school, slept on her couch. She was paying for a lot of the bills. She was taking care of a lot of the things for their daughter. Yet Ern seemed to have this moment in life where he could have a moment to find himself, right? I mean, he wasn't doing great, but he didn't have this pressure of paying bills. He tried to work, but he knew he always had that crutch of Van taking care of everything because his parents were just like, I ain't paying for nothing else. You know, figure it out. So Ern was, you know, couch hopping, going from one place, staying with Al, staying with Van back and forth. And you could just see that she was just so frustrated that she didn't have a moment to breathe concerning what she wanted to do with career and also taking a break as a mom. She couldn't stop. It's what a lot of people go through. So this Tarrare guy, I think, is symbolism for never quenching that hunger for help, being in denial, sadness, and anger. Van created a world that took her far away from who she was in her normal life. No matter what she did in season 3, she never seemed to be happy. It was never getting the thirst or hunger quenched in whatever she did. Being away for days, not answering phone calls, distancing herself from everybody wasn't helping. It was making everything worse. When Candace was asked about Lottie, her brain immediately reconnected with reality. She was hearing the concern from someone other than Ern and her mother. The story she shared with Candace is clear in indicating when her so-called control of her everyday life tipped over. She didn't want to live anymore. She was shameful at the fact that she was considering taking her own life, and then she literally ran away. It is a misconception that adults don't run away. That is something that just young people do, but that's just not the case. A lot of people run away from their realities. They run away from their commitments. They run away from a lot of things because it's fear and it's depression. She also mentioned that Ernest knows who he is. Lottie knows who she is, but that is the misconception of how you see others when you're depressed. She doesn't know what Ern is dealing with when it comes to a lot of things in his life. He's dealing with a lot, but she only sees the tour going okay, and she's kind of leading out through his stuff. But as we've seen throughout this entire season, that each character is going through their confusing journey. I've said that with each episode. Also, Lottie is just a child. That is a misconception if she thinks that her child knows who she is and already knows everything about life already. Clearly, that is her depression talking. Lottie, as we saw in season 2, is a gifted child and was also ahead of her classmates. So Van can see this as intimidation as a parent, this thought that your child won't need you as much as you think. The truth is, everyone has their own journey, and majority of the time when it comes to a healthy child-parent relationship, those children that grow up to be adolescents, then they grow up to be adults, will always need their parents emotionally. That child-parent relationship never goes away. This character, Candace, also was casted absolutely perfectly. It's not a coincidence that she's absolutely gorgeous. Okay, when I saw her character, I was like, oh my gosh, she's so pretty. She is, the beautiful friend that has the friends that follow her lead no matter where she goes. And Van clearly experienced that with her, because when they were in the kitchen scene, she says, oh, well, you're just upset that you don't have control over me right now, that I'm in control. So clearly they've had an experience either as teenagers or what. Clearly they knew each other growing up. Okay. Candace also has a moment of understanding, because maybe her being beautiful, it's difficult for her always being the pretty one. This misconception that she's pretty and she gets everything that she wants. Someone that doesn't have hardships. But that's not the case, because her heart was so big that she turned to Van despite whatever happened in the past. We don't know if it was bad or good, or if it was just all in Van's head that Candace thought she was whatever, right? Sometimes those thoughts, those shifts in life come from the least expected people and places. And Van had her moment with Candace. Also, no matter what your beliefs are or faith, I am a believer in God. I honestly believe that Candace was sent for Van to protect her, because there were several instances throughout this episode as well that kept Van safe. Candace protecting Van from almost getting hit by a car. The scene where there's this distraction of this group gang about to do something crazy to them, and they're distracted by a fight in the street. There are several moments of her safety and her sanity being protected. So the season finale and also what's next. So I said in my last review for episode 9 that I thought the Atlanta series should come to a close in season 4, and pushing it would be a season 5. But I said season 5 wouldn't be needed. They needed to close everything with the characters and not give us episodes that deal with certain situations, because that can become redundant to the audience. So I ought to become a writer with a lot of series, because one of the supporters of the channel made a comment and saying, hey, Bunny, I heard or I read somewhere that they recorded seasons 4 and 5 at the same time. But I did some research for you guys. Actually, Donald Glover reported that they recorded seasons 2 and 3 at the same time, and the last season will be season 4. He also noted that the series will come to a beautiful close, and that the ending will be absolutely perfect. I look forward to that. I actually look forward to them bringing everything to a close. We have enough information, as I said before, to get an understanding of what each person will do next. I predicted that when it comes to Al and Darius, there might have been a moment where the friendship was just super duper strong, but maybe they've exhausted their friendship. Does he really need Darius? Because then it started to become, Al is paying for everything. Just make sure you check out episodes 9 and where I explain that. Now let's talk about the last photo that we saw, the last scene where it gets the photo of Ernest. It's very ironic that both men have the same name, right? This is a character that we met earlier in the season. He was in episode 1 and he was in episode 4. Remember in episode 4, where we're talking about the reparations, that he was in a deep depression. He was like kind of accepting his fate, that everything he had needed to go to the reparations of his family owning slaves. And we see in that last scene that everything that he had, whatever was left, whatever he earned, was sent to earn, right? It was that bag. All he had left was a whole bunch of some prescriptions. He was living out of his bag from being in the hotel in episode 4. He had a picture of his family. And unfortunately, in episode 4, he took his own life. So it's this circle of writing in this series that we've seen. So with that being said, episode 4, as Donald Glover said, I have nothing short to say that I'm excited to see how everything will come to a close. Of course, no one wants to see a series that was absolutely amazing come to a close. If anything, this series, I hope, as I've said throughout this entire season, that I've hoped that this breakdown, all of my reviews, things that I help you see throughout the episode, pictorially, directorially, the cinematography, the colors, the symbolisms, all of the things, I hope it's encouraged you to do more research, to read more things, to do things that are out of the norm, which you usually do it. If you love to read sci-fi, try to look at other things that may catch your attention. If you love reading about history, do other things, like to fall out of habit of doing the same things, having this systematic way of living. It's just something that you should continuously do. If you feel that you know everything, if you feel that you've evolved, that you've arrived, you are wrong. You are constantly evolving, you are constantly learning, and you'll never arrive until you've reached that next level in your life. Thank you so much, you guys, for supporting this channel. Make sure that you like this video. Continue to support the channel. And just know that your girl is here. We want to make this channel the best. It's a family-friendly environment, positive energy only. I want everybody to always express their opinions, but at the same time, respecting one another. It can be done, and it's been done on this channel. And I just want to just tell you guys just to keep doing that. Keep being awesome and keep being amazing. So my motto for this channel, for those of you who've been rocking with me, you already know this. When one show ends, another one takes its place. We don't stop on this channel. Stay tuned for more. We have so much coming up. We have House of Dragon. I also have Inventing Anna coming up next week, so you can binge watch that. Stay tuned for so much more. And if you want an idea of just some of the things that are coming up, make sure that you check out on the homepage the video I have of the 2022 lineup of things coming to the channel. Make sure to follow me on Instagram so you don't miss the sneak peeks of what's coming up next. And also I have some personal things that I post up about myself, what's going on in my personal life, so you can stay up with that, so you can stay in tune with your girl. In the meantime, in between time, say it with me, remember to take care of yourself and each other. Until next time, I'll see you. Put your comments down below. I want to know what you thought about this episode and my review. Take care of yourself.